Consumer Markets and Understanding Behavior, Chapter 3, Lecture 3. Let's understand our consumer markets. How many buying decisions did you make today? Did you decide to go get a Starbucks, mocha frappa, latte grande, whatever those things are? Yeah. Did you decide to get the big one, the little one? Which Starbucks we're going to go to? We're going to put it on cash, credit. We're going to have sugar, whatever. We have soy, milk, vanilla latte, extra hot, whatever. All those decisions you made. Well, those all go into what we call the buyer's black box. The buyer's black box is consumer buying behavior. It's based on stimuli coming from a variety of sources. It's from the marketers. We have the four P's, right? The marketing mix. All those different influences are coming to get into your black box, which consists of two parts. Your two parts are your buyer characteristics, right? Such as beliefs, attitudes, your motives, your perceptions, and then also the values and buying decision, right? So your marketing stimuli, which we are generating as marketers, right? The product, place, price, promotion. That's the stimuli that we're providing. And then the environmental stimuli accents that by saying, what's going on financially, legally, technologically, culturally. Maybe it's not cool to be doing a product that is not environmentally green or friendly, as we talked about in the last couple of chapters. So those variables go into the makeup of your buyer characteristics and your buyer decision-making process. That is who you are, what you see out there and what you believe in your environment. And ultimately that leads to your buyer response, what choices you make, what retailer you go to, when you're going to buy it, how much you're going to buy it, how much you're going to pay for it. All those variables go into it. So that's kind of your buyer's black box. That's your CPU going on. And we talk about the different types of buyer behavior. There's 4 different types. Let's put yourself in one of these. Put yourself in one of these categories. And you can be different categories for different situations, for example. But the perception of differences between brands. So let's say if you go to the bottom left, there's no differentiation. All the brands are pretty much the same versus all the way up when you get to the top and it's Lululemon is nothing like Kmart or Walmart knockoff brand shirts, right? Something like that. So the perception of your differentiation, and then also going across the bottom on the graph is your level of involvement. So if it's all these soaps are the same on the shelf and I just need to buy one, I'm not spending a lot of time, your habitual buying behavior. Low differentiation in brands, low effort, you go do it. You work your way up. You know what? I don't want to spend a lot of money, but I definitely have a specific brand I might go to as your variety seeking behavior. If it's the top right corner, that means these brands couldn't be any more different. And I'm going to spend a lot of time. Those are your higher end purchases, right? You're not just going to go out and buy a Ferrari. Your complex buying behavior is I'm going to size it up and get rid of, Ferrari is not a Lexus or a Tesla. And then a variety versus a Ferrari versus a Porsche. Okay, those are both there. My level of involvement, I got to test drive both. I got to do research. It's a very complex buying behavior. The types of consumer buying behavior that we're going to cover now, and we talk about the factors that influence consumer buying behavior. So if those are your different variables that go into it, what are the factors that affect you? Well, there's lots of different factors. There are cultural factors, which could be your culture, your gender, not culture, not gender in terms of I'm a male, female, but as a female, women like to stick together and do X, Y, Z. Or as men, they like to watch sports. That could be involved. Social class, where are you on the corporate ladder? Subculture within your students, within your marketing 346 class, is there a subculture of A students that hang out or people that aren't that into it, they hang out over there, that kind of thing. So there are cultural factors. Social factors, we talked about. Your family, they influence you. The role and status, reference groups, other people you look at and see, those are important to you as well, and social factors. And so on and so forth. Personal factors that impact customer buying behavior. That's the next thing I want to cover on real quick. The personal fact, what are the factors that happen to the individual that impact behavior? Well, there's a lot of variables that go into it. Age, obviously, if we talk about this through, like the baby boomers are 1946 to 1964 is when they're born. They're in their 60s or 70s. Their buying behavior versus Gen Z or Zoomers, as you guys are, born between 97 and 2012, you're kind of in your teens, early 20s at this point. That's a huge difference. You have your life cycle. You have your other variables that go into it. You can check out that graph in the book and they'll kind of explain it all to you. For brevity, I'm just kind of moving along. Psychological factors that influence consumer behavior. What are some of the psychological factors? Well, we had cultural, we had all the other ones. Psychological could be, what are your motivations, right? Hey, I buy a high-end Gucci watch because I want to look cool. Perception, do I want people to think I'm a baller? I don't know. What are your beliefs and attitudes? Well, if I buy Tom's shoes, I'm helping give back. That makes me feel good about myself. Learning, I like to buy Mac computers or Apple stuff because I've learned through time that it gets more and more reliable, or there's more software systems I can run, whatever it may be. When we talk about these psychological influences in decision making, we're going to bring up my boy. I don't know if you guys have had psychology or not, but Maslow. Maslow was a great psychologist who said, a psychiatrist actually, who said we have a hierarchy of needs. You might have heard about this one. Maslow's hierarchy of needs states basically that people have the basic natural animalistic needs that need to be accomplished before they can move to the next level, and so on and so forth. As they evolve, the needs become more specific, maybe, dare I say, a little more sophisticated. But your first level would be for example, your physiological needs, basic human needs: food, water, sex, shampoo, we need to be clean. Those are your basic human needs. The next level are your safety needs. And again, this is evolved. Safety used to be not getting eaten by a brontosaurus or whatever the hell's going on out there in the caveman times. Now we're freedom from pain and suffering. So maybe it's insurance provides you safety. Vitamins provide you safety. You get healthier, you won't have issues, that kind of thing. A weapon, a gun, you have a gun at home, keeps you safe. So as you start to solve these first level, second level, you arise to the third one, which is now your social needs: love and affection, right? I need to be felt well. Maybe that's jewelry. Maybe that's clothing. Maybe that's my social needs. I want to look good. I want to represent. I want to fit in, kind of thing. Now, similar to that, but going to the next level, we start to talk about our esteem. And when we talk about our esteem needs, that's others as well as your own self-worth. That's when you're projecting. That's when you're external. That's when, hey, if I'm driving a Lexus, everyone will think I'm cool, right? You may pay more for something because it gives you this esteem. I feel like I'm there. And then the self-actualization, which is the peak of the pyramid, doing yourself better, making yourself better. Gym memberships, for example. I go to the gym. I'm at the self-actualization where I want to better myself. Where are you on this pyramid? It's a trick question, people. You're all at number 5, self-actualization. You know why? Because self-actualization, one of the key variables is education. And everybody here, unless you're a masochist and just want to listen to Professor Ravino ramble, are here for the education. Therefore, look at, you're so evolved in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Congratulations. Let's talk about some of the influences in decision-making, right? We talked about some of the psychological influences. Let's talk about the influences. Within these, we have, and we're going to list a few of these. We have our psychological influences, right? Things like perception, utilize the information, the smell, the feel, you walk into a mall, you weren't planning on eating a Cinnabon, but suddenly you smell that stupid thing and you're like, I need to get myself a Cinnabon, right? And within that, there's different types of exposures. You select the message is the first step. We need to be selectively exposing messages because we can't pay attention to all the things out there. You're getting inundated, bombarded with thousands and thousands of messages. So selective exposure, because you can't process it all, it allows you to quickly clean through and retain a few ones that you really like. It allows you to kind of almost file away all these incoming messages. So along with selective exposure, there's a different version, selective distortion. Selective distortion is where you twist or distort the reality to kind of fit your narrative, right? So, your favorite brand just got busted for testing on pigs or whatever it may be, and animal testing, and you're like, I'm not really into that, but I kind of twist it to just say, we did some testing, it's fine, selective distortion, because I want to do it. And then the third being selective retention. Selective retention is retain the info we like. If exposure means I've got to somehow, I can't take all these in, I'm just going to try and take certain ones. Your selective retention is I'm taking in certain ones. I don't like this. I don't like that. We forget things that we don't agree with, right? How many people is going on in politics right now? If you're a Donald Trump guy, you forgive everything. If you're a Biden guy, you overlook whatever warts he may have as well. So it's selective retention. Perceptual organization. I love this one. Perceptual organization is organization. We organize all the inputs we receive from these. It's like, okay, now we've got these all. How do we file them into categories that best help us to remember, to feel, to taste, to execute on it? So perceptual organization is how we take these perceptions and how we put them together, and so we can read them out. There's little things like figure ground is a great example. Figure ground is where portions that you like, you tend to see more of, or you go to, or if something's pointed out to you, you're going to kind of go with that. So here's a quick little example. Ready? Pay attention, everybody. Boom. Which player for the Los Angeles Rams is being shown? Look at the LA Rams player. Okay. For those of you that saw, maybe you don't know football, sorry, the Ram, it was Aaron Donald, right? Congratulations. Oh, I saw Aaron Donald. But you brought him to the forefront because we're talking about being a Rams fan. But let me ask you this. What was the ad for? How many players were in it? What were some of the other teams? You focused on something, figure ground, it came to the front, and you kind of lost the whole thing. It was a DirecTV NFL Sunday Ticket, by the way. Then you have other things like closure that help you fill in the missing data or information. Along with psychological influences, we have consumer attitudes, right? What are your attitudes, your predispositions towards things that you like or don't like? That's always interesting to have. We talk about our learning, how we grow, how we exchange, how we learn the pros and cons, what we like, what we don't like. And then these influences in decision making. We talked about the perceptual side. Well, now let's talk about the situational influences. What situations affect your buying, right? Think about it. What situations? I'm in a bad mood. I'm not really in the mood to go buy anything. I'm pissed off. You're not going to buy anything. Or, you know what? I just got paid. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm going to go on a shopping spree. So different situational factors could be, the environmental factors around you, the life cycle stages, where you are. I have a little bit more disposable income probably than some of you. Not much. I'm a professor. Your occupation, your timing, your mood. There's lots of variables that go in, obviously, to how and when and why and where you purchase. It's all based on a consumer buying decision process. You smell that? I said process, which means there must be a 5-stepper coming up here, give or take. So let's talk about the consumer buying process. First thing we want to do is recognize that there's a problem. Hey, you know what? I need a lovely new blouse like Professor Ravino wears. We go to an information search. I'm on there bumping around. I'm online. I'm trying to find out who's got cool brands. Hey, there's Billabong. I'm a surfer by nature, so I always stick to, the sportswear, the surfwear type stuff. Oh, there's a Roxy. There's a whatever it may be. You do your information search. Then you look at all the alternatives. Is he going to go Body Glove? Is he going to go Billabong for this lovely frock I'm wearing? Or maybe he's going to go with, I don't know, what other brands are out there. Banana Republic, I don't know. Evaluate alternatives, make your purchase. And once you purchase, everything we do, we evaluate and go, do I like this shirt? Does this thing make me look fat? I don't know. I'm thinking in this small little window up there, I'm looking pretty darn good. So that's where we're at right now. Those are the basics of consumer markets and understanding behavior. Hopefully you will go through chapter 3 and get a little more thorough update based on this 10,000 footer. And good luck with that. And remember, as consumers, we're not just marketing to you. We are you. Think about that as you go through chapter 3.